Hi. I don't know if you can hear me. I'm trying to talk through this because I'm driving. I got the air conditioning on. It's fucking hot already. I'm not ready for this shit. I hate the sun and I hate the heat. And today I get both. So I can't drive with the windows open because I know you definitely won't be able to hear me. I'm holding the phone while I'm driving, which is dangerous. But I guess I'm practicing. That's what the point of this video is. I've been trying for years to put together a YouTube channel. And who isn't trying to be on YouTube? I know. Oh, by the way, there's a Snapchat filter on. I don't know if you can see the stars. But this face is all fucked up. So since I'm filming from a bad angle, I'm trying to at least help myself because I am vain. But anyway, but that's also part of the problem with the YouTube channel. So much overthought is going into it. I want to talk off the cuff because I struggle with script writing. Like, you really have to give YouTubers a lot of credit. They write, they produce, they edit, they light, they do makeup. Anybody that has a polished show, I mean, some people may have people that work for them, but anybody starting out can't afford to pay anybody. They're just doing their best, the best that they can. Look at the stars. They're doing the best that they can with what they have. And I give anybody, no matter how annoying they are, no matter how bad the material is, no matter how much they say, and they're doing it. That deserves credit. Anybody that's trying deserves credit. And I'm trying, and I have this little alcove in the front of my apartment. It seems to be the tightest space where that I can get a good narrow shot, where it's like me from the breast up. And you know, I've thought about doing backdrops. I have a green screen. Back in 2017, I bought a lighting kit online for part of this venture, and I had it in my house when I was still living in Hamilton. It has, you know, those lights with the umbrellas that photographers use. So I have those set up. I bought a ring light. Like, I'm really trying to mask. Oh well, I have the filter on. So I'm really trying to mask all of this shit that's on my face. But I'm trying to be vain, and I'm trying to be pretty and better looking than I've allowed myself to get. But I have to remember that that's part of my journey. In 2016 and 17, I gave up on my life. I didn't know where I was going. I didn't know what I was going to do. I didn't know how to support myself. And for about a year and a half, I laid in the dark. I turned the lights off. I would drive, like when you see me going and showing you these COVID coins or these Rona riches, that's how I used to eat back in 2016 and 17. I would drive around to 4 local drive-thrus overnight, somewhere between 2 and 4 a.m., and I would pick up all the loose change on the ground. And whatever was there, I would use to either eat or buy a pack of cigarettes. And you're probably thinking, oh, well, quit smoking. Well, no. Smoking staves off hunger. And I was using it, you know, I was using the money to make those choices. You know, I was doing drugs. I was numbing my greatness. I was trying to find a way to find my way home, to find my way back to myself. And I did a lot of work. I mean, I had no choice but to sit there and look at myself and say, why are my relationships failing? Why am I struggling to keep a job? Why am I struggling in society? What has been put into me? How was I raised to allow me to not be able to function in society? And I've realized I'm a project guy. I am not somebody and I never have. My resume can be 6 pages long. Most of the jobs that I've held, I've only held successfully for about 3 to 5 years. If I've worked for a company any longer than that, it's usually because I was transferred or promoted. In some way, the job itself changed. So I was able to breathe new life into it and to keep it going. But truly successfully, I've only been able to do something for 3 years. My paint nights were at their height for 3 years. So what I continue to look for since 2016, from 2011 through 2016, I was living with my roommate Joe, and Joe is a wonderful man. Joe loved me in a way that I don't feel that I was worthy of, but Joe taught me a lot about love, self-love, about love itself. And, I can sit here and tell you that I wasn't in a relationship with Joe because there was no romance, there was no sex, there was plenty of intimacy. I mean, Joe listened to everything. Joe held a dustpan while I fell apart after Mom. I don't want to cry in every video, but, and not all the things I want to talk about are going to be emotional. There's a lot of things that I want to talk about, just my experiences in retail. But whenever I get in front of the camera, I wind up getting very robotic and preachy, and I lose my personality, I lose my humor. I don't know how to find that balance. Like, I'm sitting here and I'm telling these stories, and they may or may not be interesting. I don't know. And I certainly know that they're all over the place. And this is what happens every time I get in front of a camera. I lose focus. I have about 900 notes in my phone. Every time I think of something, whether it be just a line, a punch line, a profound line, or a subject. Like, I sit there, you read my posts, you see the things that I write, and I'll sit there and I'll fire those things off into my notes. You should see the things that I don't post on Facebook. But I think I have a unique perspective. I'm Puerto Rican, and I did not come from poverty. I did not come from financial struggle. There was plenty of struggle in the house. Emotional struggle, self-worth, self-esteem struggles. But there was no financial struggle until my father died. The man made $1,000 a week in the 70s and 80s. We were wealthy. Shag carpeting and televisions in every room, a VCR in my own bedroom, which is dead technology now, but at the time it was a big deal. And toys. Oh my God, the fucking toys. If a toy broke, Mom, off to Toys R Us we went, and we replaced that toy. I wanted for nothing. I wasn't taught the value of $1. I was taught I wanted, give it to me, and I got it. I don't even know that I don't even know that I have the ability to be that way. Like, I know that since my mom died, I have looked for her in so many other people on so many different levels, on an emotional level, on a support level, on a financial level. And everybody's pretty much looked at me like, I don't know what it is that you need, because they're not her. Our story is very, very unique, kind of tragic, kind of beautiful, but it's cops coming. I gotta put the phone down. And that's what winds up happening every time I get in front of a camera. I start talking about those traumatic instances. I focus on my mother, I focus on my father. Maybe I need therapy. I'm not. Sorry, a cop just went by, broke my train of thought. I'm not criticizing therapy. I'm not saying that it doesn't work, but I'm also not afraid. I talk to passengers in my car about my traumas. Like, I'm not a small talk person. Small talk is for small minds. I don't care about the weather. I don't care about the news. I don't believe that anything in the news is ever going to change. As long as you stay plugged into it, you are going to be fed shit that is going to keep you frustrated. It's going to keep you fighting. I hate hearing the left and the right. I hate hearing socialism and Democrats and conservatives and liberals. And, you know, I grew up, there was nobody around that was like me. There wound up being a handful of gay kids, maybe 3 or 4 that I wound up graduating with. And then, you know, a few that have dabbled here and there, either between experiences with myself or with people that I know. And I'm not looking to out anybody, but what I'm saying is that, you know, there wasn't anybody with my complexion. There wasn't anybody of my heritage. I was raised with Czechoslovakians, Yugoslavians, Russians, Polish people, Italians, Irish, black people. So I speak what I call Yamenian, Yamin. So I'm real fluent in Yamenian, and I speak really proper English. And it's not something that I set out to do as a way to be better than somebody or to show how smart I am. It was beaten into me. Like, growing up around these people, I knew that English was so important. I knew that, you know, welcome to America, speak English, damn it. And that's another reason why I get so fixated on slang and the words, you know, the stupid, that, like, super, you know, like, oh my God, it's like literally super annoying. Because you want people that don't know our language or aren't raised speaking our language to speak it, and then you fucking bastardize it and do all this weird shit with it. And it's really annoying. And it's hypocritical, and it's, you know, I've wanted to do an experiment. I do a lot of impressions, and I think I'm going to do it this week. I'm taking a couple days off because I just need a break. But I want to talk it when somebody get into the car with me. I want to introduce myself, you know, and spend the time, you know, when I see that the ride is at 20 minutes, I want to spend the time talking to them in this accent. And I want to see, and I needed to make sure that they're white. Okay, you know, if they speak Spanish, then they're going to think I'm going to speak Spanish, and they're going to speak Spanish to me. Pero I don't want it to have them thinking. I want to see what it is they thinking, or how it is they treat me, based on my accent. You know, this accent is what matches my appearance. I looking the way I'm sounding, at least in my mind. You know, the clothes that I wear, the way that I carry myself is traditionally American. You know, I'm very American. I'm not as a Puerto Rican. Pero I doing things in a very American way. I'm entitled. The police, they don't like me. They don't like me porque when I talk to them, I had a sheriff. I was in Elizabeth, and I'm driving to a traffic light. Okay, and I see a Blazer, a truck, and the windows están tinted, all black. You know, see inside the car. And when I pulling up to the car están two car lengths away from the light. There's nobody in front of him. So I say to myself, you know, the city is están texting. You know, everybody who's texting in the traffic light, they're leaving 2 cars distance between them and the car in front of them, porque they están paying attention to the telephone and they don't want to take their foot off of the brake and bump into the car in front of them and have to pay money. So I've seen the sheriff. I don't know if the sheriff when I do this, pero I see him and he's sitting and he no closing the gap. So I pull in front of him and the light change and we going through the light and I coming to another traffic light and he pulled next to me and he say to me, he rolling down the window and he leaning like this. So his jacket say sheriff, the patch, he having the patch. And I see the patch and he say to me, you do that shit again and I'm gonna give you a ticket. And I clapped back at him immediately and I said, sir, you drive in this state as much as I do, so you understand that people are leaving extra room so that they can text. Since your windows are tinted, I can't tell that you're a sheriff or what it is that you're doing inside that vehicle. So I made that decision. I can't see how this is going to happen again, but I appreciate the warning. And I kept driving. So, police hate that. Because I'm not supposed to be, I'm assuming, I'm not supposed to be this articulate, this educated, this standoffish. But I'm New Jersey. I'm not Puerto Rico. I was born in Staten Island. I was raised here. So I want to do an experiment with a passenger to see what the treatment will be like, to see if they will be condescending, to see if they will be demeaning, to see, how they will treat me. And then at the end of the ride, I will break character and turn back into myself and speak to them in the way that I'm speaking to you now. Just to gauge it, just to see. I should probably record it. I don't even know that there's anything valuable to it. But, I guess what I'm trying to illustrate is that all of these things that you fight about on Facebook, with the exception of gun violence, I've probably experienced firsthand in my life. And I'm probably still fighting myself 49 years later to allow those things to be okay inside my soul. So I don't want to fight with you about these things. I was raised with racists. I was raised with Republicans. And I'm not relating those two people as the same. I'm not. And I'm not even saying that I'm a Democrat. I don't vote. The last time I voted for Bill Clinton. And the reason why I did that was there were two reasons. First reason was Madonna did rock the vote and said that I should vote. And well, that's Madonna, so you got to do what Madonna says. Really? That's a reason to vote? And because he was on Arsenio Hall and the motherfucker played the saxophone and he looked cool. That is why I voted for Bill Clinton. That's why. That was the first and last time I voted. Are you kidding me? And then I read, I sit there and through the election cycles I read, so if you're a minority, and I really hate that word. I like that we've started using communities of marginalized communities, because they're classing Hispanics as white people just to keep those numbers up. Because I don't know what the rest of the country looks like, but I know when I drive around the major cities, at least in New Jersey, or the heavily populated cities in New Jersey, there are far fewer white people running around here. So, I'm not telling you that you shouldn't fight. I'm not telling you that you shouldn't take a stance. But now here we are. We've gone through the worst part of COVID. We're on our way out of quarantine. And now what are we sharing again? Gun control memes and gun control profound sayings and illustrations of why guns are bad. Well, I'm sorry, folks. But while you were all locked in your houses, everybody who had their guns still had their guns. And if you want to have a gun, have a gun. I don't care. Just don't point the fucking thing at me, because I'm going to run my goddamn mouth until you pull that trigger. So, you know, I don't want to say you, because I don't want to isolate you, but I also don't want to include myself because I don't behave this way. Everybody on Facebook is a social injustice warrior in the moment. And then when that news topic goes away, well, I spoke my piece. Well, what? You fought with your friends and family over some shit that didn't change anything except your status with those people? All you're doing is isolating the people that you love. I look at my classmates, many of which that I graduated with, and many of which are Republican. We are not, our connection with many of us can't be severed based on something stupid that we're talking about, because we have that connection. We came of age together. That's our bond. You know, it seems like Facebook is turning into something that is we're looking for our soulmates in every single interaction that we have. No. I mean, I walk into people's houses that are married, and most of you don't get along. Or I'll steal away with the wife or the husband and have a private moment, and, you know, I'll see the eye rolls and I'll hear about how ridiculous the person is and how they want to leave, and oh my God, and why did I do this? And then they call, oh, okay, honey, I'll be right there. You know, like, if there is more than one person in the room, somebody has to be in charge. And, you know, that's never usually me. So I stay alone because I don't want a power struggle. I don't want to be humored. I don't want to be pacified. I don't want somebody telling or saying to themselves, oh, well, I'm going to let him get away with this because he's earned it. Like, no, you aren't. Like, my mother didn't treat me like that. I wasn't raised like that. Don't fucking feed me shit. Don't act like you're doing me a fucking favor. Get out of my face. Get out of my house. I'm sorry. I'll stay alone. Thank you very much. But as far as being a social justice warrior, you know, I posted that picture of the border baby a few weeks back, and there was very little interaction about it. I don't know if people are afraid to come off as racist. I don't know if people don't know what to say. I don't know if people are thinking that I'm ridiculous and they're simply unfriending or unfollowing me, or if they're looking at this and saying, you know what, Freddie's right. I'm somebody that needs a lot of validation. My mother was very, very celebratory in my successes. My mother was very celebratory about my mind. My mother saw the value in who it is that I am. So I need a lot of reassurance. I'm wildly insecure. Oh, Jessica, you got me, damn you. You know, I say that I love myself. I certainly do love parts of my character. I love the fact that I have learned to not hold my tongue 90% of the time, where it used to be half the time. Now, if I see something, I say something. If there's something that doesn't sit right with me, whether it be strangers, whether it be passengers, whether it be customers of retail stores, whether it be police officers, whether it be authority figures, I'm speaking up. This is illogical to me. This doesn't work because, and I'm speaking my mind. I love that. It's very freeing. And I don't care what the consequences are. I have so little left to lose. I have this car. It has 246,398 miles on it. I went about a month back at this point to get the front end suspension fixed. Thank you, Michelle. And I had a mechanic. You know, I every time this car starts showing signs of problems, I panic because, you know, I don't have any money saved to replace it or handle a major repair like the transmission, which is a word we normally don't say when we're in her, or, you know, the head gasket or the engine going. Now, I'm fortunate enough to have support that will help me figure that out, but I'm certainly not in a financial position to be able to figure that out on my own. And I'm too smart for that. I need to figure out one creative outlet that will allow me passive income so that I can continue to try to learn new things. I want to learn to tattoo. I have a tattoo machine in my storage unit. It's a basic starter unit. It's nothing fancy. It's probably not of the best quality, but it would allow me to practice. And you can sit there and say, well, Freddie, just do it. Just do it. Go ahead, do it. For me, and I think for a lot of people, based on the conversations that I have with my friends and my passengers, creativity is fleeting. Creativity is not something that you can schedule. You hear about the term writer's block all the time. People, will sit down in front of, and I'm going to say a typewriter. Wow, am I old? That's why the filter's on. It's really not helping. Look at these circles. Jesus Christ. Anyway, you hear about writer's block, and people can't perform under pressure. People can't just be off the cuff and say, all right, I'm going to sit, every Tuesday at 9 o'clock, I'm going to sit down and write. You know what kind of pressure that is? Like, creativity has a current, like the ocean. It has a riptide. Sometimes it'll pull you in and it won't let you out. When Corona first happened and quarantine first happened, I was living in Seawarren. I was renting a room from a friend, and I consider society the hive, and the hive vibrates. Okay, and it vibrates on such a high level that it makes me anxious. The go of the 7 to 7 lifestyle. You work 9 to 5, but you're commuting from 7 to 7. And yes, far less people are commuting because of COVID, but the 7 to 7 lifestyle makes the hive vibrate at a very high frequency, and it makes me anxious. I thrive at night. I drive at night. I paint at night. I write at night. I do my best work between 2 and 4 a.m. because you're sleeping, because you're not vibrating, because you're not making the collective shake, which makes me anxious and nervous. I don't like crowds. I don't like dilly-dallying in retail stores. I can't browse. I am very intentional in in everything that I do outside of the home. I am very intentional in doing it. If I go shopping, I need to know exactly what it is that I'm getting, and based on my retail experiences, I know where everything is in a store. I know how everything's laid out, and I have a really pretty good take two. I have a really good idea as to where things are located, so I can go in, get them. I'll usually use self-checkout so that I don't have to watch some bitch dig in the fucking bottom of the corner of her pocket, because I got 3 pennies. Wait, I don't want to break another dollar. And you might think I'm ridiculous, but some of the shit that you people do is fucking ridiculous. Those 3 cents are not going to make you any richer. Oh, but I know, but I have all this loose change in the bottom of my pocketbook, and it bothers me. Well, then take it out. God, there's a solution for everything. I will help you find it. Get in front of me and do something stupid, and I will help you find the solution to your stupid. I promise. So, anyway, the collective, the hive, and this may sound very mantra-like, mumbo-jumbo, tree-huggery, yoga-like, Buddha bullshit, but these are the observations that I've made. I think that once you hit 40, you've seen, and yes, I know I'm almost 50, but once you hit your 40s, you've seen the cycle of bullshit so many times. It's like, it's like going to see a movie and sitting down and going, oh, that reminds me of this, or hearing a song and saying, oh, that's this, or oh, they ripped this off from that. Well, it's really maybe because they're paying homage to it, maybe because they're trying to convey a message, or maybe because you're just too old and you need to find other things to do with yourself than sit there and analyze shit. And that's coming from me. But yeah, I want one creative outlet, one thing that will allow me to earn enough passive income to keep a roof over my head and dabble in other things. do a mural, one mural, do 2 paint parties, create 4 videos, have them sit there on YouTube and earn me $20. Because there's 4 people watching this. Thank you. Damn, Tata, you're like Isabel Ortiz. Have you logged in and logged off several times? You're on the list. Anyway, hi everybody who's watching. But I need something that's like several buckets of creativity. I don't want to sit at home. I don't want to go on vacation. I don't want to jet set. I don't want to drip ice. I don't want to floss in my car. I don't need fancy clothes. I do need a lot of toys, and I get that balances out all that other shit that you guys do. So it helps keep me broke. But I just need to find a couple different things. Like I compare it to juggling on a unicycle. So say you want to learn to juggle and be on a unicycle. I'm not really sure why anybody would want to do that, but I think the example is good because if you take the idea of somebody juggling knives, or big fucking swords while riding on a unicycle, do you think that they woke up one day and said, I'm going to learn how to juggle swords on a unicycle. Let me go get a unicycle. Let me go buy some swords. And then they go in the yard and they grab the swords and they grab the unicycle and they start rocking and wobbling and riding the fucking unicycle and throwing the knives. No, the fucking sword is coming down and through your fucking skull. You're dead. No more trying. No, they're going to learn to juggle first. They're going to start with something like oranges or tennis balls or something, not life-threatening. And they're going to learn to juggle and say, okay, I've got this down. Now let me move on to something that is the shape of a sword that isn't sharp. And, they learn the weight of that and they see how that travels between the triangle that they're moving the items through. And then they say, okay, I'm ready for swords or maybe flaming batons, whatever, but something more dangerous. But they didn't start with the flaming batons or the sharp swords. They started with something small. And then, okay, now you mastered the skill. You now know how to juggle swords. Now you want to incorporate the unicycle. Do you get on the unicycle with the swords? I would hope not, because again, the thing is landing in your fucking skull. You're going to sit the swords down and you're going to master the unicycle. You're going to practice on the unicycle and you're going to bob and rock and you're going to get all nauseous and you're going to be afraid that you're going to fall. You see how I came at the camera? You're going to be afraid that you're going to fall and, oh, no, I got it. Okay. All right. But no. And you're going to do that for weeks. And you're going to learn to balance. And then eventually you're going to master the unicycle. So now you have a mastery of juggling swords, and you have a mastery of juggling riding the unicycle. So now maybe you're still not completely confident in that ability to ride that unicycle. So maybe you're not going to pick the swords up right away. You're going to grab whatever you learn with, the oranges or the tennis balls, and you're going to take those and you're going to practice riding the unicycle and juggling, because now you're trying to focus. You're trying to maintain a laser sharp focus on 2 tasks, which is something I can't do, which is the point of this story, but I'll get to it eventually. So you will get on the unicycle with your oranges and you'll juggle and you'll rock and you'll juggle and you'll get nauseous and you'll go lay down, which is what I do whenever I get taxed over doing something that I don't know how to do. And then eventually you're going to be juggling on the unicycle with your oranges. And then you're going to move up through the progressions of the things. Or maybe you're going to say, you know what? No, I have the confidence. I'm going to grab these fucking swords, sharpen these bitches up. And here we go. And there you are on fucking TikTok. Fucking throwing swords in the air on a unicycle. And everybody's going, oh my God, I can't believe he does that. He makes it look so easy. I hate him. I wish I could do that. Well, you can do that. You can do that. We can all do that. The problem is work. The problem is work. The problem is the 7 to 7. The problem is the earning money to pay the rent. The problem is all of these extra things that we have built in our lives that suck out our souls, that don't allow us the freedom in our minds to create. I am not a trust fund baby. My father died at 16 and completely changed my life. That opulence and all of that money that I talked about at the beginning of this video was gone. There was no more. It was over. And I had to learn the value of $1. I had to learn what it meant to earn. I'm still learning what it means to save. I am finally rounding the corner financially. I left my last steady paycheck secure job in 2014. It is 2021, and I am finally rounding the corner financially. And that is based on a series of flukes. That is not based on hard work. That is not based on determination. That is not based on focus. That is based on happenstance. I got very lucky. I will tell those stories once everything has fallen into place, but I'm not telling them now. It's not that a matter that I don't want to jinx myself. It's just I've talked to you about buying a school bus and living in an RV and building a tiny house and doing all these things. And I'm tired of selling myself short. I'm tired of putting these whoa, sorry. You there? Whoa. You can't rotate your phone. Okay, there you go. I can't keep setting myself up for failure or setting myself up for expectations. It's really not even failure. Every goal that I have, I'm living to achieve. I still want to have a school bus. I still want to drive around the country and teach people to paint. I still want to pull off at some beautiful, picturesque landscape and sit down and pull out a canvas and paint what I'm seeing, and then invite a bunch of people over to come sit there with me and have a sample, but actually have what it is that we're painting surrounding us. I want to go to Minneapolis, and I want to be a part of Prince celebration, and I want to do Prince-themed paint parties. And I want to dream big enough that either Wendy and Lisa or Sheila E. or the MPG or some member of his band or one of his proteges will show up and we'll have a good time. Not for fame, but just to have a good time with people that I share a lowest common denominator with. My best friend has kept me in Prince throughout my entire life. I want to go and share that. I'm not done living. I have intentionally not started the life that so many other people have. I got married, but I got married for the wrong reasons. I got married to I didn't feel like my father, I didn't know how my father felt about me. And I didn't know how my ex-husband felt about me. So I felt like if I did my best to make this man love me, I would now have my father's love. That's why I got married. I don't believe in marriage. It's not that I don't believe in gay marriage. It's that I don't believe... I've seen so few working examples of successful marriages that I don't believe in them. I don't like to see when somebody leaves the room, the other person whispering about how shitty they are. I don't want to be shitty. I tell people all the time, I'm guest star. Like, I'm special guest star. I am not a part of this story. And yes, you could talk shit about me when I leave, and you could think that I'm too extra, or you might think that I'm entitled, or I'm too loud, I'm too annoying, whatever it is that you think about me. But I don't have to deal with that when I leave. I don't have to deal with that energy. I go, I have a good time, I catch up with my past, I create new memories, and I leave. And that's what I want to leave my friends and people with. But back to the whole thing about juggling and the unicycle. So work. I had a passenger in my car, and we were talking about what we would do or being creative. She had wanted to start a candle business for years, right? And it was her big dream. She wanted to start a candle business. And, COVID has been rather advantageous to some people. And I know. There are some people that I know that have lost loved ones, and I'm sorry for that. I'm sorry that you have to experience a life of loss. I'm sorry that they're gone. I'm sorry that you have to figure out how to live your life without them. And I'm particularly sorry that you may have not been able to say goodbye in a way that was intimate, that allowed you to touch, because touch is so important. Touch, hugging, and comfort, and a caress of the face, and a deep eye contact. It touches your soul. And for anybody who had to go through saying goodbye to somebody because of COVID, and have to go through this sterile procession, only 6 people allowed at a time, and you're not allowed to stand next to each other. My God, I can't imagine how you got through that. And that's one of the things I want to talk about on my YouTube channel. I want to talk about grief. I want to talk about, how you come back from the biggest loss of your life, because I know that I've experienced that. And I survived it. And it hurts. And it's still not okay yet. But I know that it's better than it was 10 years ago. In June, it'll be 10 years that she's gone. And here I am, back to mom and off topic. I don't know that anything that I'm running on low battery because I have this thing plugged in, and I have an iPhone 8 Plus. I don't know that what I'm saying is making any sense. I don't know that what I'm saying has any value. I don't know that what I'm saying is funny. I don't know. But it's raw and it's real. And it's me. And this is what I want to share. I want to share high emotion. I want to share if you have a dog and I come visit you, you'll see that your dog goes crazy when I'm in the house. It's because my frequency is really high pitched, and dogs vibe on that, and dogs go nuts when I'm around. I love dogs. I love animals. I love cats, but cats are standoffish bitches, so I have to scoop them up and force them to love me and make them scratch the fuck out of me because I want to love them, and they don't like that. But dogs will love the shit out of you, and I love dogs. And I want to thank anybody, Michelle and Carolyn and Melissa and Yvonne and Jason, for allowing me to come to your house during COVID and be with you and your dog or dogs, because they heal my soul. Like dogs make you so happy, and I love them, and I love you for letting me be around yours. But I have so many goals. I want to say I don't know where to start. I really want to start with YouTube. I want to do it while I'm still in my apartment, and I'm putting a lot of pressure on myself because I'm in an attic, and that attic, when I first moved in last July, is incredibly hot. And I'm going to have to run an air conditioner, and the only window in my apartment is in the little alcove that I'm talking about. So I'll have to have an air conditioner running while I'm recording, and you'll hear it. And, the digital audience is very unforgiving. They need high production value. They need the sound to be perfect. They need it to be polished. They need it to be right. I mean, it's bad enough I'm coming at you with fucking gray hair. And I'm vain enough to want to remedy that. but I'm also allergic to hair dye. After I used to try to maintain this with Just for Men, the little brush bullshit. After 3 or 4 applications, regular applications to keep it black, which it's not black, it's dark brown, but to keep it black, I would start to get welts. I actually felt like my jaw was clicking. So I can't dye my hair. I won't dye my hair. I have so many chemicals in my body based on manufactured drugs and things that I ate as a child because I was a pica, because I was a nervous child that used to eat inanimate or inedible objects, because I was so nervous of going to school and being a faggot and going home and being abused and dealing with my mother being abused, and I was a nervous wreck. So I would eat things that I shouldn't be eating, and I know that eventually that is going to shorten my life. So I don't want to add to that shortening by adding hair dye into that mix. So yeah, this has been very all over the place. I titled the video Testing 1 2 because I just want to practice. I just want to talk. And, you know, like, have I covered everything that I would cover on YouTube? No. I have subjects. I have a topic called Circle the Drain. It's about the life cycle that we go through, you know. I have a piece about the pecking order of race in this country that doesn't change. It winds up being like a deli counter. You take a number and you wait your turn for the violence to come your way. There's black and white footage of every single social injustice thing that you can share on Facebook today. You can sit there and watch Captain America or the Falcon and the Winter Soldier and say, "Oh my God, that's so timely." Well, it's timeless because none of this stuff changes. It doesn't stop. But you can still live a happy life around it if you shut the news off and just love thy neighbor and try to find the lowest common denominator as to how it is that you can relate to the person that's standing next to you. So this is just practice. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, and ring the bell. No, that's not. I won't be saying that. Holy shit! Look, Final Destination. Look, can you see it? Do you see? Holy shit! Something's at the windshield. All right, I gotta go. I'm gonna die. Bye.